Welcome to the Ops Experts Club with Aaron, Taryn, and Savannah. This podcast will take you behind the scenes of some of the finer details of multi-million-dollar companies. These ops experts have dealt with operations for scaling companies and well-established businesses with anywhere from small to large teams. If you've ever been deep into the details of a major company, then you know how much it takes, and these conversations are just for you. Welcome to the Ops Experts Club podcast.
So those of you who are our longtime listeners, first-time callers, it's Ops Experts time. So welcome to the crew. How you all feeling today?
Grand.
Well, we are bringing you back around to a new feature we came up with a little bit ago called That's a Cool Tool. Love the participation, everybody. So we're going to be looking at some cool tools because we all work in, we all see it. Everybody's always got cool tools, new apps popping up every week. It feels like they go up to a visionary goes, oh my gosh, this is the next best thing. Everybody's using it. We got to look into this. A month later, we're already on a different tool. But some of the tools are pretty cool. Some of them are just shiny and fancy and new, and you wouldn't want to be in on it. It's like getting the new clothes out when they come out, getting those new shoes, getting in on those Yeezys, even though you don't think they look good, but everybody else has them. Same thing. But we do have some pretty cool tools that we do enjoy using that have survived the time of being the new flashy thing. That's what we're going to look at today. So I hope you're all ready to jump into our cool tools.
I'm ready.
Sweet. Did anybody want to self-volunteer on firsties?
Yeah, I'll take it over. I'll talk about a fun, cool tool.
Show us what you got, Ben.
We are talking about OBS Studio.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about this one.
This is, it's an open source, obviously free open source software for video recording and live streaming. This is primarily geared towards those YouTube gamers or those Twitch gamers. This is the software that they use for streaming their live streams that's on Twitch or YouTube. But I think that really pigeonholes its use case, especially in our world where a lot of our content that we sell is digital. That's courses or live classes or any other number of like digital or downloadable material that a lot of the spaces we work in are selling. This is a great tool for either live streaming your courses, your classes, or even recording those classes that you put on a membership site. If you're not just uploading live materials to your membership site, maybe you're making very specific courses on, if you're an entrepreneur that, sells information on how to create Photoshop programs, or maybe you're an artist who's teaching people how to, work in Adobe Illustrator or Premiere Pro. Using a studio like this to record all of your work is really handy, because it's free and it's super simple to use, and you can record multiple screens, desktops. You can really, really adjust what your inputs are that come into the recording, and you've got really easy to access raw footage just right there on your desktop. Also great workaround if you've heard us talk about Loom and you don't want to pay for Loom because Loom has a 5-minute cutoff. You can always record with this and upload to Google Drive.
That's what I was going to ask you about, because I've been struggling with Loom lately with all of their limits, and I'm like doing Loom and I'm having to do it in like several little sessions, and then I have to splice it together in my video editing software, and it's a pain in the butt. And then I'm having to upload it to my Google Drive anyway, because I have the free limit of only 25 videos. And so I was going to be like, this compared to Loom, because
this is super, super simple. I mean, you can set up keyboard shortcuts for everything in here and just record. It saves and processes really quickly, actually, and just saves it straight to your desktop or wherever you want to save your video files. And then from there, it's just, drag and drop to Drive.
So Google Drive, you can have a desktop app for Google Drive. Could you set this to automatically save to that?
That is, I would think so. I don't know. Let's take a tour. So I have it actually up and running at the moment. We can take a peek through the settings. So You can actually, this would be like your view screen if I had it set up to basically just record my desktop. Maybe I want to, let's see, let's change like a video input or display capture.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you could just drag or add quickly any sort of input source that you want, text, media source, audio, video. You can just easily choose straight from here. And then I have already a list of maybe audios that I have. Like I have an audio from my mic that is picking up, or maybe I don't like that mic. I want to switch over to the audio from the webcam. I can easily switch over to that. But for your settings on where you'd like to save it, we've got a great whole slew of settings here under your output settings. Your recordings, I could then just choose right here, browse to recording paths I want. So if it's a recording, if that drive folder on your desktop is a recording path, then yeah, you can just choose to record straight to that. Then you've easily got a whole slew of videos there. The great thing about OBS too is you can also set the scale output that you want this. So if you have, say, a 1080 camera and you record in 1080, but then you take that footage and you download it from Zoom, and then you upload it into Drive, and then you download it here, and then you upload it. Every time you download and upload, your video is getting compressed and compressed and compressed and compressed. So your lovely 1080p video that you shot has now been compressed down into like garbled, garbagey 720. And if somebody blows it up on their screen, everything's all pixelated. This allows you to rescale that output. So you're just going directly from the webcam straight into your raw video source, and then you upload it once to wherever you need to upload straight from your computer. So you're not having to compress and lose that recording quality. When it comes to streaming, it's also really simple too. If you were, say, streaming a live course, I could just start a stream right here, or I could just start a recording right here, whichever I'd rather choose. And then in this broadcast, I could title it, of course, what I want it to say. I'm streaming on wherever I'm streaming to, give it a description, whatever the category is. Maybe I want to upload a thumbnail so that at the beginning of the stream, there's me going, hey, here's my new course on how to use X. And I can also choose where I want that to stream to, but then you can actually choose from a list of streaming services that you want to stream into. And you can stream from, just about anything. We use Restream a lot, and the options of what you can stream into are pretty limited. You can stream into Facebook, YouTube, I think Twitter, and it has maybe 6 or 7 more. OBS has a list of about 100 plus platforms. A lot of you probably not even heard of, a lot you probably don't want to visit on the internet, if you catch my drift, but you can literally stream into anything. Not a lot of platforms let you stream directly into Twitter, for example, and you can use that. You can choose that here in OBS. So it's a really, really easy tool. It takes about 5 minutes to learn. You can even set up scene transitions. So if you're doing a live training and you are from one course into another, you can just create a really quick, blue screen in your photo editor and add that in here. And when you click scene transition, it'll go blue, and you can transition over to your new whatever course you're starting on. So you can even break up chapters of your courses while you're streaming it into your live class. So then if you at some point want to add that into your membership area, it's already broken out with scene transitions for you there. So a lot of cool stuff. The coolest being that it's free and it takes little to no effort to set up.
Say someone who's just coming from Loom or something that's super basic, going into that where there's like a lot more customizations, it might look a little bit scary.
Yeah.
It probably is. Like, do you feel like they have a good...
I haven't really dug too far into the help community. There's obviously forums here, so it looks like there's quite a bit. The great thing about this software being primarily used by video streamers on, say, Twitch or YouTube is you could jump on YouTube and there are a million walkthroughs of this platform. Because everybody uses it, everybody has also made a help or how-to video on how to use this. So literally it would take 30 seconds of you searching in on YouTube, how to OBS Studio, and you'll have a list to go through everything. Again, the nice thing about it is once you get like a couple of the basics down, it's super easy to work with.
Does it give you a chance to customize the view if you're doing like a split, records your face and the screen at the same time?
For sure. For sure. If you have an input device as, say, let's see, video input, where's the input? Video capture device here.
Mm-hmm.
That'll pick up my camera, which is already on, so I can't click it here.
Mhm.
But once that's in, you can resize, maybe I want the entire half of this screen to be my webcam and the other half of my
Right.
content, or I can shrink it down. I can literally place it anywhere on this screen. Kind of like you would with Loom, but with Loom, you have like the small circle, medium circle, big circle, and you can move that around. This will give you a square that you can resize to the entire screen if you want. Also, you could, if you wanted to, say I'm presenting a class, I could easily just scroll down to these little eyeballs here and hide my display and unhide my video capture. So I hide my desktop and then I unhide my camera and then my face fills the screen. And it keeps a nice 1080p resolution or 1440 if you have a 1440 webcam.
Nice. Sweet. Wow, Ben, that is officially a cool tool.
That's a cool tool.
It's a cool tool. I'm going to give it a high rating. I don't know what a rating scale is. We didn't discuss this ahead of time. I'm rating it high. I think it's great. It's free, a little more on the advanced tech side, but I feel like if you know what it is and you know you need it, you're going to know how to use it.
Mhm.
Real use is I include, Loom, using it instead of Loom. And I was picturing, we have a lot of people setting up like those evergreen webinars where they want to show their face and content on their screen, switch back and forth maybe. So a really good way to get that in a really high quality, because sometimes, like you said, if you're pre-recording that and then moving it around to a bunch of different places, you really lose quality. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah,
I don't even know with Loom if you can get your face back once you tell it to go away. Like you might have to go like deep in somewhere to get it back. So I love just like the being able to toggle the little eyeball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the great thing about it too is if you are presenting like an evergreen course and you have, say, you want a camera view, you want a course view, but maybe you also have some other material. We all fudge around and fumble with like getting screens to the screen that's being recorded or getting tabs over from this window to that, to this desktop. You can literally just choose even your display. So if I have two monitors, I can choose one monitor as a display for what I'm presenting. And then I have my more information on the second monitor, or second desktop. I can just literally eyeball on, eyeball off, and quickly jump between different tabs without having to fumble with dragging things around my desktop and potentially showing some information that I don't want to show.
Beat.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Ben, what's that called again one last time?
OB as in boy S Studio, OBS Studio.
Awesome. Well, I loved hearing that. Thanks for sharing. If I need to do any streaming, I'm definitely going to check that one out.
There you go.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to jump into a quick one here. It won't be a long one, but lately it's been coming up a lot more as we've been working with some clients. Kind of the sweet spot with the clients we work on is entrepreneurs. They've got a few people on their team. They're experiencing growth, hockey stick growth, and we're jumping in there trying to help hold down the fort, build up processes that can support that growth. One thing we've been asked a lot is password sharing. You got two different people in the world, not in the entire world. This is just hypothetical, but two different people. I experienced both of them. One of them's like, oh yeah, here's all my passwords. They send them in an email. They text it to me. Same password, everything. They don't really care. They trust me. The other people was like, I don't know you. I'm not giving you anything. What can we do? Give me some options. I don't take it personally because I'm that person sometimes too. So one tool we always recommend, there's a lot of different password sharing tools out there. Keeper, 1Password, LastPass, but LastPass is the one I'm talking about right now. That's going to be a cool tool we're looking at. As well as I'm going to give you a couple of different ways that you can utilize it yourself. But it's just a password management tool. And in this situation, I can log in on the site or I have it up here as a Chrome plugin. So whenever I hit a site, since I have the plugin, it's going to recommend the LastPass password for that site or multiple ones. And I can click on it and it just autofills it. The cool thing about having a tool like this, that works automatically is you don't have to share your password with people. That's the point of LastPass. Password sharing without them being able to see the password. So LastPass autofills in that password without me ever actually seeing it if somebody shared it with me. And I can't share it with anybody else. I can't just send it to Ben. If I need that password to Ben, I have to go back to the person who sent it to me and say, hey, can you also share this password with Ben? But it's great because you don't have to share your password. So a lot of people are looking at setting these things up because they don't want to share their passwords. Totally makes sense. I don't want to share my password. And it's great. Been using it a while. And so I'm going to give you, my opinion on a great way to use it personally is just the free option. You can get started. You can do everything you can. I mean, basically everything you can as in regards to passwords as you can in the paid, except you can only have one-to-one sharing. So you can share your password to one other person. You can't share it to multiple people. You can share it to one other person. You can, of course, create your password multiple times and share each one of those with different people. But then if your password changes, you don't have to change it in 5 different places. Not ideal workarounds. The way we usually do it is we use this Collab team. We have one premium account. That is our master account. That's the account that holds all the passwords. When you are premium, you can share one to many. And that's the feature that's important is we set it up. We can now share that one password to anybody who needs it on the team. They can't share it with anybody else because they don't have access to share it. They're on free accounts, so they don't really need that permission. And they get the password they need. We're able to share it with multiple people. We're only paying for one account as opposed to 12 accounts. So it's really, really a win-win-win. We haven't really seen a need to change that yet. Could be in the future. Maybe if you have, maybe if you've got more, managers, directors on your team where you do need to share it to them and they need to share it to others, you can set it up differently. But we've had a lot of people asking about it. That's how we recommend setting it up. Just if you are going for that cheaper option. Obviously, $3 per month per user is not a lot. So feel free to set up differently. You can also set up Teams accounts. It's where you as the business can still own the account, but somebody else is accessing their own account, but you can turn it off at any time. You can remove their access if they're being offboarded. That's $4 per user per month. Still not a big expense when it comes to some of the apps we look at where they're charging you $30 a user a month, especially things like Monday, but still an expense nonetheless. So we do have people paying Teams for it. It's great place. I like LastPass. You guys like LastPass?
I like it.
I love LastPass, and like a couple things that I noticed recently. So I actually went ahead and got myself the premium version because I work from my phone a lot and just use my phone for all the things. And so that's one thing on the free version is you can only use it on one thing. So if you have it on your computer, you can't also have it on your phone, or if you have it on your phone, you can't also have it on your computer. And that was kind of a deal breaker for me. And I was like, it sucks paying for another thing every month, but it is only $3. So I went ahead and did it. And I also feel like so my husband uses it too. He has the free version. His is glitching all the time, like fighting between, because Google stores your passwords, Apple stores your passwords, and then LastPass has your passwords. And all three of those things are constantly competing for who's going to fill in his password fastest on his devices. And it drives him crazy. And I'm like, I never have that problem. LastPass always wins for me. So I don't know. That's just anecdotal. So I don't know if that's just because I have the free version or maybe he needs a better computer or something.
Yeah. Now that you mention it does happen to me when I'm logging into places and it'll just switch to something else at the last minute. And I'm hitting log in. And as soon as I do, I notice the email changes and it's like, no.
Yeah.
Not the account I wanted.
With our clients, I've noticed that too, where they're like their Google is trying to like autofill and it's like winning out, even though they're like telling it that they want to use it a different way. So just something to keep in mind if you're trying to use several different password memory services at the same time.
No, Travis, that is a really quick, easy setting to turn off inside Google. Turn off the autofill so that LastPass always wins no matter what. Or if you like your Google passwords, though, then you're kind of stuck with those.
Yeah, and that's I think for him, Google wins, and like so he likes it better, so he doesn't want to turn it off, but then he needs LastPass sometimes for work. So
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I actually didn't know they had a mobile version. Does that work for apps or is it just like oh wow.
yeah, so my phone will actually pop up and it'll ask me if I want to use the Apple password memory or if I want to use LastPass. It like automatically like builds that in so I can just toggle between and I pretty much always choose LastPass because I use it so often that I know it's going to be the most updated version of the password that I'm looking for. So I just pretty much always select LastPass and it'll fill it in. And I can open up my vault from there too, from like the little pop up. So highly recommend. I feel like it's worth the $3 a month just for the sake of like I know I can get onto whatever work profile I need to get on from my phone if I'm on the go, which I'm in a car right now. So like I always am. So yeah, and I didn't know that the families and business teams was only $1 more a month. And so I'm actually probably gonna talk to Aaron about that and just be like, guys, I'm willing to pay an extra dollar if it gets like the team on the LastPass premium because I think it's worth it. So
That's
Yeah.
super handy. One thing I noticed too, I mean, and it may be obvious, is it's so much easier to go with like a solution like this than changing your password every time you offboard somebody or fire somebody. Or
Mhm.
I mean, been in organizations with password. There is no solution. And it's just like, did we ever change the password when we let's go? Oh, shoot. With this, you just like remove access, remove access, remove access, remove access.
Mhm.
Way easier. And then if you're changing your passwords constantly, you then have to communicate that out to everybody that the password's changed. And then it's like, always that one person on a Saturday morning who was like, wait, what's the new password?
Yeah. I know in the past it was a little bit glitchy when it came to the master password sharer updating their password, but the people they've shared it to didn't get that update. If you guys had that problem recently, or was that an old issue?
I haven't noticed anything like that.
the last time I experienced it, it's been a few months. So maybe they fixed it, but I know a few months ago I was having that issue, but I haven't run into a wall like that for a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah, that was a frustrating one. I don't know you too if maybe it was just for free users, one of those things they put intentional bugs in to make you upgrade.
You know what? I haven't experienced it since I went premium. So that's another thing. So you might be
One
sneaky
of those
about
like
it.
super fine print details in the free version. Also, you will not be able to update any password.
Like any of your
Yeah.
Funny.
Awesome. Well, any other thoughts on LastPass?
Makes your life easier.
4.6 out of 5 stars.
Wow. 4.6 out of 5. Just to recap, makes your life easier. Everybody's using passwords, so you might as well secure them, share them with everybody. We all need LastPass or something similar.
Indeed.
Thanks. Ben, do you rate it high or thumbs down?
I will give it a yes. Out of 10, I will give it a 9. There are a couple bugs every now and then, but it's overall usability and just the fact that the one time you change a password and have to email everybody on your team, you realize that you need it.
Awesome.
Hey, experts listeners, I want to key you into something that we do very special here at Ops Experts Club, and that's a masterclass. We have a free masterclass called Foundations That Scale. And the great thing about this masterclass is it's for operation professionals who are growing businesses. One of the most dangerous things you can do as an operator is grow businesses on a foundations that's not stable. So in this particular masterclass, we take apart all of the inside pieces of your team, your tech, and how they're using time. And we make sure that you're building on a foundation that's stable. So if you want to check out a great masterclass completely for free, go to foundationsthatscale.com. We'll see you there.
Well, Savannah, we have a few minutes left. Do you want to jump into yours?
Sure. Mine's going to be really fast too, but my cool tool that I'm going to share is Fathom for Zoom. And it's basically just a meeting recorder. So if you're someone who's just like attending a lot of group meetings, this probably isn't going to be a game changer for you. But if you're having a lot of one-on-ones or you're leading a lot of meetings and you need to share recordings afterward, highly, highly recommend. So when you're looking this up, by the way, Fathom is the name of a ton of companies. So don't just Google Fathom. You're going to get all kinds of stuff. Look up Fathom for Zoom and it is free. So that's really nice too. and it's really user friendly. So Mac, I know looks different than PC, so this will look different depending on like what your computer is. But because I have it installed, it's always just chilling at the top of my bar up here. And when I have a meeting coming up, you know how your calendar pops up and it's like, you have a meeting in 10 minutes. Fathom will actually pop up with that better. I shouldn't say better. I like it better than the calendar version because it has a little drop down. It'll tell you how soon your meeting is. You can join the meeting ahead. If you're the one who's starting the meeting, you can launch the meeting right from there. And you can even toggle whether you want to record it or not. So I just love that it's handy because for me, like, again, I have Apple Calendar and Google Calendar, and both of those are fighting each other and different pop-ups. And if I accidentally forget to close an earlier pop-up, then it'll take me to that Zoom link instead. And then it's just like a kerfuffle. So this is really easy to jump into from there. And then
Is that in your Chrome plugin or is that in your menu bar
this is just in my menu bar.
of the Apple? Oh, okay.
Yeah, of my Mac. So I always have like Crisp up there. I have Adobe up there and I have Fathom up there.
Wow.
Well, you can see what's going on up there. So then when you start it, if you don't, you can set it to auto record. I don't have mine set to auto record because I am in a lot of group meetings that I don't feel like I need to record. But if I'm doing a one-on-one, then obviously I want to. So when you start the meeting, it just keeps this little pop-up over here. And so whenever you decide that you want to record, if you want to, you can just click it right there. Or of course you can, just close it if you don't want to. But again, it just makes everything kind of like mindless. You can just start your meeting. You're not having to prepare a whole bunch of stuff ahead of time, making sure that you have all these settings checked. You can just kind of do everything on the fly. And then once you're all done, my favorite part of it is when you have a meeting and you record it on Zoom and you need to share that recording afterward, the amount that it takes to like buffer and load into whatever folder you're sharing it in, if you're sharing it on Zoom, or if you're taking it on your computer and putting it into Google Drive and then sharing it from there, it just takes a really long time. And like none of us have a lot of time. So Fathom, it's instantaneous. Like as soon as you end that call, it pops up and it's like, do you want to share your recording? And you just click the button. And then you can see you have the share button right there. And it even lets you choose if you want to give them like a viewer access only or like editor admin access to it if they need to like pull clips and stuff from it. So depending on like if you have an assistant, obviously you're going to want to pull the more heavy duty one, or if you're just sharing with the person you met with, then you just take the viewer recording. And then I didn't take more screenshots on this, but you can scroll through and you can read through your whole transcript. And then as you're scrolling through, it'll even skip to that part of the video at the top. So like if you only missed a certain part of the meeting and your manager is like, hey, like skip to like 5 minutes in, that's the part that you're going to like, if we're talking about this nitty gritty thing, you can just scroll to that part, find that part of the text, like click it and then start the meeting there. And then you can even see like your subtitles, grab your notes. Like it's such a time saver because you can just kind of scrub through the whole thing and find what you need at a glance. So we're like right on the dot of time. That's like just like highly recommend it. You can save so much time with it.
I've seen
like
people use this in Zoom meetings. I mean, even Aaron, for example, I've never used it myself. Can you actually have it sit in on meetings for you? Like as a user, like if I'm joining, instead of joining Ops Experts Club, could I just have my Fathom join and then it records the meeting and takes the notes for me?
I think you can, and I haven't done that yet.
Because that would be, you might, if you're like, oh no, I overbooked myself on 3 different meetings, send my Fathom to 2 and I sit in on 1. It's like,
I've been in a meeting that it had like 3 bots and like 2 people. Like I've been into a meeting that had like bots instead of the people attending. So I know that there's a way, but I haven't used it that way yet.
well, I'm curious about that.
All I know is the Fathom will join before the people. And I've seen it join without the people. I think as long as whatever is connecting to Fathom says you're going to be in that meeting, Fathom will be in that meeting.
So you probably have to do like auto join or something.
Yeah, probably auto join and auto record.
Interesting. That's something to look at because I've seen that before, and I'm always like, are they here, or is it just their note taker? It's like sending your stenographer to a meeting for you.
It's nice because sometimes you're waiting on a recording from the team and, and if they're not using something like this and they are just using Zoom and they're waiting for things to buffer and upload and download and whatever, like you might never get that recording. Like there's several that I'm like, I can't go. Can you send me the recording? And then like a week and a half goes by and they're like, hey, did you catch that from the meeting? I'm like, you know what? Nope, I never got the recording. So yeah.
I like seeing the progression. Everybody had an otter, like a year and a half ago. Otters were joining meetings.
Yep.
I haven't seen an otter in a while. Now it's Fathoms.
That's true.
Because they can do both. Why have an otter when you can have a Fathom?
Interesting.
Yeah. And then what's cool about Fathom too, that also I haven't played with, but if there is just like, if you have a cascading message for someone who's not usually on that meeting and you don't want to send them the whole recording, you can pull out clips. So you can like go through the transcript and you can find a part that's specifically for that person. And you can just like chunk it out and then send them just that part of their recording and their transcripts. So it's really cool for like cascading messages too. If there's something that's like really specific that you don't feel like you can relay the message on your own, without the discussion or something. So
that's really cool.
And it's free. So there's that too.
I haven't used it yet. Savannah loves it, but I think that's a bona fide cool tool.
Bona fide.
Yep. Real use applications for transcripts and recordings. And it saves to Fathom, not to your computer. That's why it's instant, right? My only apprehension is things that start out free eventually are not free. We saw what happened with Loom. Loom used to be 100% free, no limits. They got you hooked. And then you're going to buy it. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Well, thanks, Savannah, for sharing that cool tool. We had OBS Studio, LastPass, and Fathom. It's a bunch of cool tools. I guess we're going to have to think of more cool tools now to share with y'all. But does it for us this week. Any last words?
Download all of them.
Happy Thursday.
Hey, experts listeners. I want to key you into something that we do very special here at Ops Experts Club, and that's a masterclass. We have a free masterclass called Foundations That Scale. And the great thing about this masterclass is it's for operation professionals who are growing businesses. One of the most dangerous things you can do as an operator is grow businesses on a foundation that's not stable. So in this particular masterclass, we take apart all of the inside pieces of your team, your tech, and how they're using time. And we make sure that you're building on a foundation that's stable. So if you want to check out a great masterclass completely for free, go to foundationsthatscale.com. We'll see you there.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ops Experts Club podcast. New episodes available every week on Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. If you're curious about how some of the biggest names in entrepreneurship have scaled their businesses to the next level, check out some of our best content on this topic by going to foundationsthatscale.com. You can find the link in our bio and do your part to improve as an ops expert.